Okay, I'm going to do this because I've dragged this on for too long. This is going to be the last thing I cover today. We'll be back on tomorrow. I appreciate you guys for always rocking with me, but we didn't cover the YNW Melly girlfriend. I'm going to cover her interview. So
you guys haven't seen or heard from me because I'm currently wanted.
Mariah Hamilton, the ex-girlfriend of accused murderer YNW Melly, sits down for an interview with us to talk about the case, her relationship with the rapper, and why she never appeared in court. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. So anybody who follows Sidebar knows that we were pretty heavy in covering the YNW Melly double murder trial out of Broward County, Florida. This was the case of the rapper, real name Jamel Demons, who's accused of shooting to death his two friends and fellow YNW group rappers Christopher Thomas Jr., or YNW Juvie, and Anthony Williams, or YNW Sack Chaser. The two men were found shot to death on October 26, 2018, after Melly's co-defendant, Cortland Henry, or YNW Bortland, pulled up to the hospital with the bodies of Thomas and Williams in the car, claiming that they were all victims of a drive-by shooting. Now, the evidence has suggested that this was a staged drive-by shooting and that the shots actually came from inside the vehicle. And in their case, the prosecution focused on ballistics, trajectory, potential gang affiliations of YNW Melly, but in the end, it didn't work. The jury didn't find Melly guilty, but they also didn't find him not guilty. They actually couldn't make a decision. They were hung, and a mistrial was ultimately declared. It came after 14 hours of deliberations. Not an easy case. And as we think about the upcoming retrial, we look back at the case and we think, wow, there were a lot of people who testified. But there was one significant absence, someone who was mentioned but never appeared in court. YNW Melly's former girlfriend, Mariah Hamilton. Now, why is she so important? Well, Mariah Hamilton's mother, Felicia Holmes, told police in December of 2018 about a FaceTime call between Melly and Hamilton, her daughter, right after the shooting, where, according to her, Melly said someone shot the car up, that a car was coming behind him, that presumably the shooter or shooters were hiding there, and then he said he thinks Sack Chaser and Juvie are dead. Then she says she saw Melly at this guy Fredo Bang's house. Apparently, Fredo picked him up after the shooting. And while she offered to Melly to stay with her after all of this happened, she says Melly went to a video shoot after all this happened. Then at some point, Holmes says that her daughter told her that Melly was threatening her and that she feels Melly had something to do with the murders. Hamilton even talked to law enforcement about a text from Melly where he allegedly says, "I take lives." Hamilton also addressed possible tension that Melly may have had with one of the victims, and follow-up reporting indicates that might have been Sack Chaser. Now, this is important testimony, right? This is important evidence. But the problem was Miss Holmes' sworn deposition years later in 2022 was not consistent with what she told police in 2018. In fact, when Holmes took the stand in YNW Melly's trial, things got heated, basically accusing the government, from law enforcement to the prosecutor, of threatening her and her daughter, Mariah Hamilton, to testify against Melly.
Did you have an opportunity to read the statement you gave in 2018?
I read the statement.
Okay.
I don't recall, I don't remember anything from that statement, but I do remember my deposition from December 22.
Were you honest and truthful with law enforcement when you spoke with them?
I would hope so. I mean, it was 2018. I went through a lot during that year, so I'm not sure where my mindset was at that time. I do remember that they kind of bullied me and threatened my daughter to take her to jail for accessory after that. I do remember that.
When you first took the stand, you said, "I feel threatened."
Yes, sir, I do.
Who do you feel threatened by?
Objection, Your Honor.
Christine Bradley, the prosecutor's office.
This prosecutor.
Yes, I do.
So with that in mind, we here at Law and Crime had the unique opportunity to actually interview Mariah Hamilton herself. Again, she never appeared in court. Now, in our interview, she was accompanied by her attorney, Christopher Barris. This was in his law office. And also her mother, Felicia Holmes, was there as well, and we asked her some questions. And with that, let's play you our interview. Mariah Hamilton, thank you so much for coming on. I think I want to start off by just saying I'm so happy to see you and meet you, because it's been kind of, I think a lot of people wanted to hear from you. I think a lot of people were expecting to see you at the trial. And there's been some issues in terms of what's been happening with the police. If you can explain to people why we haven't seen you or heard from you.
You guys haven't seen or heard from me because I'm currently wanted. Uh, I've tried to get the warrant lifted plenty of times, but it's just been like a constant battle with my lawyer and the prosecutor. So I've just been, laying low trying to get the warrant lifted before I could even come in and, speak my part.
Let's talk about that. So, and by the way, you are in your lawyer's office. Your lawyer, Christopher Barris, is off to the side. He's going to come in a little bit later. Yeah. So I saw that it was only, I think, yesterday or the few days before, you filed a complaint against the lead investigator in YNW Melly's trial, Mark Moretti. And you basically accused him of bullying you and harassing you into providing testimony in this case. What can you tell us about that?
When the situation first happened, me and my mom I was threatened. I was 17, about to turn 18. They came to my house. They were telling me that they were going to arrest me with accessory after the fact. My mom didn't know what to do. I was young. I didn't have a criminal record. I didn't have a background. I was trying to go to the military at the time, so I had to just tell them what they wanted to hear so they could leave me alone, which I thought they would leave me alone, but they didn't. So, yeah.
Why did they think that you were a part of what happened?
Because I was his girlfriend at the time. So they thought that I knew more than what I was telling them that I knew, which I didn't. So they were just harassing me, being that I was his ex-girlfriend or girlfriend at the time. So,
when you say Mark Moretti was harassing you, what was he saying to you? What was he doing?
When he first came to my house, it was so unexpectedly. I had put up with my cousin, and they were outside my house, parked. And I'm like, I was confused. I'm like, what's going on or whatever. I'm asking someone what's going on. She was like, they want to talk to you. You have to talk to them. They're threatening, saying that you're going to go to jail. So I'm like, oh my gosh. I end up telling him my story. I told him what I knew. He told me that I was lying. He told me that I knew more than what I was telling, and that he was going to, he could arrest me for accessory after the fact. So we end up he wanted me to get on a tape recording and tell him what he wanted me to tell him, so which I did. After that, he was like, they wouldn't bother me anymore. I thought they wouldn't bother me anymore. They were still calling and texting my mom, asking for me. I refused to talk so many times. And yeah, I haven't really talked to them ever since then, since 2019. So.
And now you said that there's an arrest warrant. It's still out. It's still outstanding. Why do you feel comfortable coming out now and talking about this?
Because I just want people to know that I'm not running because of any money or anything like that. It's because I don't want to go to jail for something that I did. I don't want to go to jail for something that I didn't do or something that I'm not a part of. I just feel like people's looking at my side of this. They're looking at me wrong, and that's not what they're showing is not true, basically.
You want to clear the record. So you file this complaint against Mark Moretti.
Yes.
What are you hoping happens there?
I hope the judge can lift the warrant off me, and I don't mind coming in to talk. I never mind coming in to talk. Me and my lawyer tried to go in to talk on so many occasions, but I was always threatened with, if I don't tell them what I want to hear, what they want to hear, I'm gonna go to jail. So it's like, I never went to jail before, so that's my main concern right now.
Oh, I get it. Let's talk a little bit about YNW Melly. So first of all, how did you meet him and when did you meet him?
I met him. I was 15. Yeah, I was 15. I met him through mutual friends. Um, it was my homecoming night. He had just got out of a program. He had just got out of a program. Um, we met through mutual friends. He was like, his friend was telling me that he wanted to see me after homecoming. So me and my friends was like, okay, we'll link up with you guys after homecoming or whatever like that. So instead of us going to like, after homecoming, you go to after parties, we end up like hanging out with them. And ever since that night, me and him just been cool. Like we just been close ever since then.
Was it like love at first sight? Like you thought he was attractive or like?
I wouldn't say me, but for him,
He was.
He gave me weird. Like when we first met, I thought he was weird. My friends was like, he just really likes you. I'm like, I don't know, but it was cute, but it was like weird too at the same time.
Well, you were so young, right?
Yeah, I was 15. I was 15 and he was like 17, I think. Yeah, he was like 17. So, yeah,
what's he like? Like, what's his personality like? Because I think there was a lot made during the course of his trial about his demeanor, smiling in the courtroom, praying, kissing up in the sky. What's he like?
He's just he's different. Like he's a very outspoken person. Like
fuck all that. Did he kill him or not?
He never showed me that he was a part of a gang. He never told me like, hey, I'm a part of a gang or I'm this, I'm that. Like the things that they were talking about during the trial, like I was new to that as well. Like I didn't know of him being or wanting to be or.
Okay, she's on the right timing.
However, they're trying to paint.
I know he was in the gang.
The picture of him being in the gang.
Did you ever hear of any of those people
Dr.
that he was
Montisto,
communicating with, that they say he was communicating with?
I heard about them, but I just thought everybody was just all friends, close friends. Like I was never a part of, he kept me out of anything that he ever had going on.
By the way, I think I'm realizing why she ain't take the stand. Obviously, she got to get her lies in order, but here's the thing. It's easier for the mom to tell the lies than her, right? Because if she tells the lies, I never knew they were in no gang. I'm pretty sure half the time that that Melly's texting her, he's saying slam, slat. He's talking gang shit to her. I'm pretty sure her phone, like, there's probably evidence of her knowing that, that he's ganged up. Some type of social media post that kind of gives it away that she knows she's in a gang. And if she says that on the fucking stand, you're perjuring yourself. Because if they could find proof that you're lying, you're perjuring yourself. The mom, there was a degree of separation with the mom. She's the girlfriend. Melly talked to this chick all the time, every day, all day. Sent her Snapchat messages all the time. For her to get up on the stand and say, I never knew he was in a gang, I'm telling you, prosecutor's going to come for her neck with perjury charges.
So, they were like,
when you say that he kept you, in other words, was he on his phone talking? People were like taking phone calls away from you or not making sure he didn't see your phone? Nothing like that.
No. I had his password to his phone. So and he would never walk away while he's on the phone to talk to anyone, not in front of me. No.
So in other words, if he was part of a gang or he was talking to people who were part of a gang, that's something you would have known.
I would have known, yeah. And no, I'd never known that, no.
I want to talk about Sack Chaser and Juvie. What were they like? I really just want to get an understanding. Their lives were lost. It's a tragedy. What were they like? What was your relationship with them?
They were like family to me. They were like my brothers. They always made sure I was straight. Anywhere we go, like his shows, to the studio, anywhere, they made sure I was straight. Like, made sure I had something to eat. Like, if I had to go to the bathroom, they would walk me to the bathroom. They were like big brothers to me. honestly. And I never had brothers before, so I really appreciated that a lot. Like even when there was times where, you know, if it was an altercation, they'll make sure like I'm okay. They'll make sure I'm straight. So I really appreciated that a lot.
Did Melly ever have any problems with them? Because there were accusations that, you know, they might have been jealous of him. There might have been financial problems, money problems, anything like that, you see?
No, not at all. Like he loved them. They went them two out of everybody. It's a whole bunch of people a part of YNW. Them two, they were there everywhere he went. Like anywhere he would go, he would make sure they're in his budget.
Let me
He'll
grab
make
some
sure
water,
they're
chat,
part
all
of
right?
his budget. He'll make sure they got a flight. He was just always helpful to everybody. So yeah.
Mariah, do you think Melly killed Sack Chaser and Juvie?
No, I do not.
What makes you say that?
Because he treated them like they were his brothers, like they all had the same mom and the same dad, which they didn't. But he never showed a sign that he didn't like them, he didn't want them around or anything in that sort. So that was just odd.
If he didn't do it, do you have a theory about who did do it?
No, I don't.
What have you met Cortland Henry?
Yes, I did. Yes, I have.
What's he like?
He's cool. He's like a brother too. We're both Aquarius, so you know sometimes we have our little differences, but he's like a brother to me too. He's really cool. Yeah, I know him. That's the crazy part. I know him longer than I know Melly. So yeah,
And
we had a long.
What's Melly's relationship with Cortland Henry?
The same. Like they known each other for a long time. They all went to school together. They were like brothers. They were in a rap group together when they were younger. Yeah, they love the studio. They bond at the studio, even outside the studio. They always bond. So, yeah.
Would you say that Melly's relationship with Cortland Henry was closer than it was with Sack Chaser and Juvie?
No, I wouldn't say that. No.
Do you think that he is capable of killing Sack Chaser and Juvie, Henry?
I don't think so.
I want to get a little bit into what happened that night. The night that you found out, first let's just start from this. When you found out that they were killed, where were you and what was your reaction?
I was at home in Cocoa, and I was in shock. I was in disbelief. I didn't think it was true. I thought it wasn't true at all. Until I actually came down there and found out about it.
Who told you, or how'd you find out?
Can you answer that question?
Well, the police are the ones that really told you the story.
Huh?
It was the police who told you about the incident, I think.
Right. Yeah.
This is bad, chat. Her lawyer had to stop her from saying on a public interview a different story than what they have coached her to say if she eventually, which she probably has to, later take the stand. You heard the lawyer? Remember, it's the police who told you. First of all, if the lawyer's sitting right there next to you while you're doing an interview, you probably shouldn't do an interview. You probably shouldn't do an interview. If your lawyer got to sit right next to you off camera, don't do an interview. You should be practicing with his team for cross-examination and for direct. Fuck an interview. This interview ain't helping nobody. You can't get Melly free on the court of public opinion. You got to get him out in the real court. This looks bad.
So
Yeah. So yeah. I found out through the police. Yeah.
They came to you and told you. And what was your reaction? Were you just shocked? Did you break down into tears? Did you say, what's happening?
Did she almost slip up kind of limited here?
Actually came down there and found out about it.
Who told you, or how'd you find out?
Here we go.
Can you answer that question?
Well, the police are the ones that really told you the story.
I know.
The lawyer even got on camera. Oh nah. This ain't good, Chad.
Yeah,
This is why the mom had to take the stand.
that it was a drive-by. Is that not true?
Wait a second. Mariah, Mariah's position, Jesse, is that, she was never told by either Melly or Portland about the incident itself. She did learn about it, but she never had any conversation with either of those two individuals about the actual incident, anything that happened.
Okay. So to try to put certain things in context, and by the way, this poker face right here does not help. She looked like I'm not gonna say the prosecutor was like all the way A1, but that prosecutor actually she was trying to do her thing. That prosecutor would have her shit in bricks, as a fact, because he had the mom really on hots. Anyway, I'll say this: in a early report of what they told the cops, what the mom told the cops, she said she overheard her daughter on the phone with Melly, and her daughter started crying after Melly told her that there was a shooting and he thinks so-and-so is dead. So that's what her mom initially told the cops. You hear what the lawyer's now telling her or saying for her? Oh, Melly never told her nobody got killed. Melly never told her about no shooting. The cops told her that. By the way, why is this important? I'll tell you why. Because if the prosecutor could prove that Melly accurately described what happened, right, when the shooting occurred, or if he's telling about the shooting, it means more than likely he was in the car when the shooting occurred. Do you get what I'm saying? Melly's whole disposition that the defense keeps saying, he switched cars before the drive-by. So he was never in the car when the shooting happened. But now the prosecutors could use her to say, well, if Melly wasn't in the car, how could Melly tell you about the shooting? See? So now that's why the lawyer is coming in to say, yo, she never heard about it from Melly. Now, remember, let me go back to the trial. Let me bring y'all back a little bit. The mom said, hey, I know I said that. I overheard my daughter talking to Melly, but low-key it was late. Maybe I didn't really hear what I really heard. And also, when I talked to the cops, they put pressure on me to say that. So her mom took back her statements. That's why the prosecutor said, is it perhaps that you have taken back your statement because we did run like a warrant on your phone, and according to the warrant on your phone, you were arguing with people talking about Melly's teammate shit because they promised you money and you didn't know if you were going to get it. You got promised a vacation that you wouldn't have to work all year. Is it possible that you're switching your story up now because Melly dropped that payment? Now, Melly's team fought for that to not be admissible. So that wasn't admissible in that first trial. I don't know if they're going to do new motions to try to get it admissible again. But that was struck. So that was not argued in open court that Melly's team promised, like there was some text that showed that, yo, if Melly's team don't send the money, they might have to go to the cops and tell the real truth. That's what was in the message. If Melly's team don't send the bread, they're going to have to tell the real truth. You get what I mean? But now you see the lawyer, which you got to imagine this is one of them wink, wink type of thing. The lawyer knows what's up. She needs to tell a particular story. That story has to 100% not perjure herself. And by the way, I think, by the way, remember, she says she's wanted even now. She's sitting next to a lawyer. Who would be better than to get a warrant rescinded and get you to do an interview with the cops than a lawyer, but you're not doing an interview with the cops, you're doing an interview with law and crime. So you know what this tells me? This tells me that they're trying to still posture, and I think that the prosecutor is saying this. If you come up in here and you come with this bogus ass story that you're now adopting, that pretty much your lawyer's about to take over and tell for you, we're charging with perjury. Like you say, they even mentioned it to the mom, but the mom could deny it because it's late. I overheard shit. Oh, well, you told the detectives this. Well, the detectives was actually forcing me. With her, it's a little bit different because there's also messages between them that seem to corroborate that initial statement. You get what I mean? So she could be held liable for perjury. The mom could be like, I don't recall. I don't remember that.
And that night. So the questions you're asking, I know everyone wants to know the answer to those questions, but I think that's what she's going to tell you, and no matter how many times you ask her that.
Well, I only asked her one time, so I'm just curious if she says she didn't know anything about it, she didn't speak to him. I mean, I'm sure Mariah can tell me that, but I'm just curious. Okay.
Well, I want her to tell you herself, but I don't want this to turn into an if she tells you she doesn't know, she doesn't know, and it's not going to help to try to get into the after conversations or any meetings that you may have had with either the
Well, I hope, Mariah, you don't think this is interrogation, but I will tell you, your lawyer did say that we could ask anything about the case, so I hope that this isn't a tension, but I just wanted to ask. If you don't want me to move on, I can definitely move on.
Concerning the night, with what I have going on with the situation, I don't feel comfortable speaking on the situation from that night.
Okay. So let's talk about the trial.
Yo, I'm going to be honest with you. Melly's team, Melly's lawyers, listen to Big Act right here, man. Y'all know me, man. I got a detective badge. Y'all know I solved mad crimes on this bitch. I'm damn near a lawyer, too. Like, we've been litigating this shit for a long time. Y'all know, right? Do not put this woman on the fucking stand. Wherever she been at, hiding from them warrants, put her back. Put her back. Because her lawyer cannot interject in court. They're going to tell that nigga shut the fuck up. And they're also going to force her to speak about certain shit, especially she's not the subject of any crime. And if she tries to plead the fifth, then this lawyer got to come in court and give a grounds of why the fuck she's pleading the fifth. And I guarantee the argument's going to be, well, I'm pleading the fifth because if I say something, I don't want to be potentially facing charges of accessory after a crime. And you know what the prosecutors are going to say? All right, we're giving you immunity. You're not getting charged, but talk right now. You got to talk. You're getting immunity. So once we give you immunity, they're going to say to the judge, now she can't plead the fifth anymore. You can only plead the fifth if something you say may incriminate you, right? And I think her lawyer would say she could be charged with accessory after the crime. If she says something about that night, they're going to give her immunity immediately. They don't want her. They want Melly. Then she's going to have to be forced to talk. She's not getting on that stand. If I'm Melly's team, she goes ghost. Go back to Puerto Rico. Go back to Puerto Rico, Bahamas, Turks and Caicos. Go enjoy yourself. The new Melly trial is going to be starting, I think, January or whenever. Well, I think they're going to start picking in November. It's probably going to start in January. Man, this interview just shows, like, no disrespect to her, but you don't want her to be, you don't want her, somebody said what? So you're just going to fast forward what? Yeah, you don't want her to be on the fucking stand.
Trial. Did you watch it at all?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
It was sometimes where I could watch it, and then sometimes I just cut it off, and yeah, I hated it. Like, I didn't like it at all.
What'd you hate about it?
Just how the picture was painted. Basically, I didn't like that, especially if it's with me and my mom, and how we got like paid off when that never happened. So
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. And by the way, if your mom wants to come in for this question, I would love to ask her about this too, because we covered the trial. Yes, your mom is there too. Hi. I just was curious.
Around the table.
Hi. Good to see you. So I wanted to ask you real quick about this.
Did you get the check? Like, come on, let's get straight to the shit, man.
That was a very heated moment in that courtroom between you and the prosecutor. What can you tell us about that?
It just was a lot of anger with me because
Hold on. And I'm sorry I keep pausing, but I try to add context to everything. I'm going to also, now shit's kind of crystallizing for me. Again, I'm not trying to accuse anybody of anything, but we're just trying to have an open mind thinking about this whole case. If I'm Melly's team and I see this interview done by the mom and the daughter, I don't know if y'all missed the payment, but get that fucking payment over to them. They need to shut the fuck up. They should only be talking to, they should have an attorney, right? But they should only be talking to your attorney prepping for the second trial. That moment that happened with the mom don't happen again, and y'all figure out if y'all could put that daughter on the stand. I say no. They shouldn't be doing no interview, because they trip up in this interview, it's probably going to regurgitate itself in court. And I don't think that daughter going on the stand, but this mom is definitely going back on the stand. That's a fact. She's definitely going back on the stand. So if I'm Melly's team, I'm wondering why the fuck they doing interviews. You know what the first thing I'm going to do? Yo, here another $3,000, man. Y'all get back on that fucking plane. What the fuck is you doing? Fuck is you doing getting on? Y'all chasing clout when I'm over here chasing freedom? Get on the plane.
of everything me and my daughter have been through, what Christine Bradley's tried to put us through, I felt like we're getting persecuted more than the defendants. I feel like the Cortland has more rights than I do. I'm on a ankle monitor, and I'm supposed to be your witness. And when I'm telling you one thing,
yeah, you're on an ankle monitor because you initially refused to cooperate when they had a subpoena for you, and they basically then turned that to a bench warrant, and then basically you are out on bail. Yeah, that's kind of what it is.
it's like you're not taking that for an answer. Even right before I came into the courtroom, I was in a little room with Christine, and she asked me a question. I told her I didn't know, and she was like, "Really, Felicia?" Like telling me you do know the answer. Like anything we tell them, you have to go back and forth with her with it. I'm going to file a complaint against Mrs. Bradley. That's something I'm talking to my lawyer about right now. I have with Dr. Detective Moretti, but we did just go to court. She had court on my birthday to have the ankle monitor off for her to get in front of the judge and say, like, I'm a flight risk. I'm not going to show up for testimony, and she doesn't want me to.
That's why they got the ankle monitor on you. They really think you're about to dip. They didn't catch your daughter. Your daughter would be wearing an ankle monitor too. They're not playing. Y'all think he's going to show up for that testimony, or else they're going to use their Find My. You know have the app Find My iPhone. Yeah, the police got one too. Find My Criminal. They're coming straight to your door and dragging you to the courtroom. You going to testify again now?
To have it off. So at this point, I don't want to testify, but if I have to, I'm going to go plead the fifth, because at this point, I'm going to get arrested. She's trying to send me to jail. I mean, there's no.
The pleading the fifth ain't gonna work. I'm telling you. Again, I know I'm being like a ghetto lawyer with it, but like, come on, we've seen this enough. You plead the fifth under what grounds? The only thing she could say is that she does feel intimidated. She has a legit point for that. Hey, I've been getting harassed by the police. I feel like they want me to say one version of the story. I feel like if I don't say that version, I'm at risk of getting locked up. That's not a plead the fifth type of situation, though. That's not a plead the fifth type of situation. That's usually a situation where maybe that lawyer should come with you, and they try to do it the first time, say, hey, listen, my client, who is a witness, and now they might be like, my client feels like they're under duress.
No immunity for me and my child.
Can you both make this clear for?
Somebody says you don't need grounds to plead the fifth. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do if you're challenged. In this situation, you're going to absolutely need grounds. Like, for example, Bortland does not need grounds to plead the fifth. He's charged in the fucking case. He doesn't need grounds. Like, it's clear. Like, why would he answer any question if it's at potentially the detriment of his open case? This is a witness that by all metrics has zero to do with the case. They're not even looking at possible charges, especially the mom. You can't just say I plead the fifth.
Anybody who's following and haven't followed the complexity, has there ever been a point when either of you were evading law enforcement, evading the ability to testify, and they were trying to track you down, and you were not?
She can't incriminate herself in this case. That's the main thing I'm trying to tell y'all. She is not involved in this case. The prosecutor is going to say that. Hey, she's not the subject of any investigation. We've never filed charges, whatever. And only the daughter could possibly say the accessory after the fact. You can't just, like, if anybody could just walk in court and say plead the fifth, there would be never a testimony in America. You get what I mean? There would never be a testimony. I plead the fifth. Like, this ain't a Dave Chappelle sketch, nigga.
Cooperative. If you can make it clear about that, what that means is.
Somebody says, I thought she said she didn't remember. Now, that's effective. That's effective. You could always say when you're on the stand, I don't recall. It's been a long time. My memory's hazy. However, what they're going to probably do is they're going to say, hey, we're going to jog your memory. You told the police this. Your initial statement, your call to 911 said this. Do you remember now? And it don't matter if you say you remember or not. It then puts it in open court. Like, you know what I mean? Those are evidences that already got admitted. You read in something you said in an interrogation room, whether you say, nah, I don't remember saying it like that, or nah, I don't think that's what happened. You could say that in court, but they could get you to read your statement, right?
Were you ever evading law enforcement or trying to testify?
When you say evade, I'm not going to say I evade.
Somebody says, well, how does she answer, where's your daughter? She answered that. Y'all watch the case with me. She answered it first time by saying, her daughter's, she hasn't had contact with her daughter herself. Now, granted, this is going to be a little bit different because, when they ask her next time, where's your daughter? She can't be like, I ain't talked to her in months. She'll be like, yo, shorty, we literally just saw you sitting next to your daughter on the interview. The fuck is you talking about, right?
Them. What I'm going to say happened was I was a travel nurse in California. She was serving subpoenas in Florida. I'm in California. You're serving subpoenas to my ex-husband's house.
Somebody says the contempt charge is light. Okay, that's a possibility. If you look back at some other criminal proceedings that's happened in the past, or actually some of them weren't even criminal proceedings. Like, for example, like think about the Alex Rodriguez, even maybe there were hearings or something like that. Was it Alex Rodriguez or Barry Bonds? One of his homies that was involved in all the steroid shit, he didn't testify or some shit like that. And they pretty much had him in jail for months. But the whole goal was, okay, I'm going to stay in jail until hopefully this case ends. You know what I mean? And shit, you don't need me afterwards. So, you know what I mean? You might have to spend some time in jail. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. With this mom and this daughter, I don't think they're down to do jail time for Melly. I'm going to be honest with you. They're on a fucking interview. Like, let's keep it a beat. I don't think they're like, hey, just lock me up till y'all figure this shit out with Melly. First of all, the daughter already told you in this interview, I'm scared to go to jail, right? So where you been at? Oh, I was scared to go to jail. There's a warrant out for my arrest. It's not like they're going, all right, just take me in.
We don't live there anymore. I have an address. Christine Bradley has not had one sheriff knock on my door in Orlando, Florida, and serve me a subpoena, not once, ever.
Mariah, what did you think of your mom's testimony? As I said, it was heated.
Yeah, it really was heated. Like I said, I didn't like it. I just felt like she was painting a wrong picture for me and my mom, basically making it seem like we were paid off, and that wasn't the case.
And that we were running from her when our lawyer has called her on so.
Thank you for mentioning that. The mom got a chest tattoo. That gotta mean something. The mama got a chest tattoo, gotta mean something. You're right.
So many times, and we've even set up times to meet with her to get this taken care of. And it's like her with her, it's either you go to jail, you say what I want you to say, or you go to jail. And I don't think witnesses shouldn't be treated like that.
And that's the reason why that's the reason why I haven't
My daughter's
came, because you're threatening me with jail if I don't tell you what I want to hear. And it's like, that's not fair. I don't feel
She's
like
never been to
that's
jail.
fair.
She's had me in Broward County Jail. It's filthy. It's disgusting. I was treated like crap in there. I don't want my daughter to be put to that, do anything like that. So, I went to jail for it.
I'm not going to get into the substance of it, but just so we're clear, there's never been a situation where you told one story and then changed your story, because that's their accusation.
Their accusation is I told one story and changed my story, but they're not telling you that the story I initially told was under duress. We're basically forced to tell the story. Are you going to take my 17-year-old daughter to jail? I mean, I'm not trying to see my child
Didn't I tell you?
go to jail for anybody. So if the stories did change, it changed because of what they set into play. It's on them that stories changed. But if I want to tell the truth, they don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear.
Right.
They want to hear whatever they can hear to make a case against Melly to convict him for a first double homicide and get the death penalty. That's what Christine wants. She wants my story to help her get that.
Let me ask you both this. Were you surprised that they went for the death penalty against YNW Melly?
I was surprised. I was surprised it was
Yes,
death penalty
yes.
because of the evidence. Because, I didn't even think he did it. The first person who ever told me that he did it was Detective Moretti. It never even crossed my mind. I was a mother-in-law who was thinking that, because I knew he had got.
I see why she on the stand. Yeah, she a talker. She a hustler too, you could tell.
Into with other rappers, and my daughter actually got into an altercation with him and another rapper in California at a studio, and it happened maybe like 3-4 weeks before that. So I'm thinking that that's what happened. I'm thinking rappers or someone's trying to kill him. So that's what I was under the impression. I never once thought this young man, because he's always been happy, he's always been dancing. I've never seen him with a gun, so I never once thought that.
If
She right. Never seen that nigga with a gun either.
He could actually kill the two guys who I saw him with every time I saw him. It never crossed my mind.
And Mariah, what do you think again about they were going after him for the death penalty?
Yeah, it was crucial. It really hurt my heart for a minute. Even when he first went to jail, because it's like, it was just,
I've always seen him. He's always singing. He's always dancing. Yo, he's singing about murder. Yo, he's singing about death. Yo, he's singing about shooting niggas. Yo, I like this mom.
believable, honestly.
Yo, this mom is the type of mom that got a bad kid, but show up to school when they be like, yo, your mom got to come in. Be like, yo, my kid's an angel. Like, it must be something y'all are doing. He don't do nothing wrong.
So-
especially with somebody he's with every day, 24/7.
Mariah, you said you watched the trial. The prosecution presented evidence about where the bullets came from. They presented text messages about whether or not he was involved in a gang. They presented evidence about that he might have "shh, I did that" on social media. When you were hearing the prosecution's evidence against YNW Melly, what did you think about it?
Honestly, I was just so in disbelief. Like, I would watch it sometime and then I'd turn it off. Like, some parts of it, I'll just turn it off, because it was just like, I can't believe this. Like, this is not what it's supposed to be. Like, it's not supposed to be like this at all. So, yeah.
And forgive me, is it Felicia?
Yeah, Felicia.
What did you think of the prosecution's case?
I thought that she did a piss poor job. I don't think she's a good prosecutor. I don't think she's a good person. I don't think she should even have that job. I'm trying to figure out what is Broward County doing with someone like her. presenting a case of this magnitude. I don't think she should be there. I don't think she knows what she's doing. So that's why I think she's doing all the manipulative stuff, is because she doesn't have her case together. She dropped the ball on so many things. Get your case together and stop making the witnesses pay for your mistakes. And that's what she's doing. She's made so many mistakes, her and Detective Moretti, to now it's falling back on me and my daughter, to making everyone think that our testimony is going to make or break your case. Your case should not be based off of me speaking with him the morning of. I didn't think he did it. I didn't know he did it. So why would my testimony be the smoking gun? I don't understand why she would think that my testimony would help her. I don't understand.
The jury couldn't come to a decision. There was a mistrial. What was your reaction to that, both of you?
I thought that it was. I felt bad for Melly, because I felt like if to get this far and now you have a mistrial and have to go through all this again. I just kind of felt bad for him, because he's still in jail. Like, everyone's thinking it's a celebration time because it was a mistrial. This man been in jail since 2018 off of evidence that's not even really there. So I thought that I felt bad for him. I'm not gonna lie. I felt bad for him.
I felt bad for him too.
Yo,
Despite
W moms, yo, they got this daughter look like, yo, she look like she lying. The moms look like she believe it.
like what me and him have going on, I wouldn't want to see him in that predicament and in that position at all, especially when I don't believe like what they're saying is true. So yeah.
Were you shocked, Mariah, that they couldn't come to a decision, or were you saying, you know, I can understand that?
I was shocked, but also it's understandable. But I was shocked. Yes.
I was shocked. I thought it was gonna be for sure not guilty with everything that Detective Moretti and Christine.
Nah, yeah, she wishy-washy. She's like, yo, free that innocent man. That innocent man ain't killed nobody.
Bradley have done to.
But the system nowadays is not the same.
Especially.
Yo, Track got to send her the check expeditiously. Track, if you ain't wire that money over to her, nigga, you might have to Zelle that bitch, Venmo it, or PayPal it to her. Get that shit over to her with Cash App, nigga. She's doing the job. Nigga, I know all them actors is fucking on strike, but motherfucker, like she could star in a Hollywood movie.
In Florida.
Yeah. So.
Well, if his retrial happens, Mariah, I'll start with you, and they want you to testify. Are you going to testify?
With a lawyer?
I'm just trying to get the warrant lifted. I don't mind going to court as long as the warrant is lifted, which she's giving me a hard time with that. So I honestly don't have an answer to that.
She's wasting taxpayers' money. She has me on a house arrest ban. I'm a nurse, you know. She's just, the lady's crazy. I think this is her career. It's for her career or something. This is personal, and you can see from me in her testimony that it was very.
By the way, if I got a warrant, the last place I want to be is around a motherfucker with an ankle monitor. Like, yo, the police know where you at, and I'm right next to you. The fuck? If I got a warrant and I'm doing everything to avoid the warrant, the last place I want to be is around a motherfucker with a goddamn ankle monitor on.
Personal. Like, she has a personal problem with me. It's nothing professional going on with me and Christine Bradley. This is all like we have the same baby daddy or something. Like, me and her have some beef with each other. That's how you can look at our testimony and see it's something personal going on there. So, you know,
I have to ask. I mean, if you end up on the witness box again and she's questioning you, what's that going to look like?
I'm going to plead the fifth because I'm not. She wants me in jail. She wants to impeach me, and she knows this today. So why would I get on the stand in November?
See, that's what I was trying to tell y'all, chat. The grounds of her pleading the fifth can't be on an impeachment, unless I forgot what the clause is. If they ask her to contradict her previous statement, she could plead the fifth for that. Because if she has to admit she lied, like, for example, like what a crime, like, again, if you're pleading the fifth, it has to be because of potentially, like, you know, you're going to incriminate yourself for some crime. Lying to investigators, lying to police, or giving a false report, that's a crime. So if they're trying to prod her to be like, hey, well, this is what you told us in the interview, so you're saying you were lying back then, right? She could plead the fifth on that, 100%. She just can't plead the fifth like, nah, I ain't tell you I didn't plead the fifth. But if they're trying to catch her in a lie, which Yes, she's trying to plead the fifth to not impeach herself, which means that she would be saying that a statement from before is not true. Yeah, she can't. She could do that.
Remember, when I already know what you intend to try to do to me. So I'm going to go ahead and plead the fifth. So she's going to waste taxpayers' money for me to plead the fifth in November.
By the way, what did you both think of Melly's defense team?
I think they did a pretty good job. I think he had a pretty good defense team. I guess I've never met any of them personally except for that day, but I do think that they kind of did okay.
Yeah, these two right here, they go crazy. I fuck with both of them guys.
Mariah, what'd you think?
Yeah, I feel like they did good as well. They definitely did good. Yeah.
Mariah, I have to ask you, if Melly is acquitted, you kind of gave the hint that maybe there'd be a future. Would you, get in contact with him again? Would you communicate with him? I see what your mom's saying, shaking her head, but
Friends. Probably friends.
Why are you shaking your head?
Because I just want to be done with that family. I don't want anything else to do with those people. Like, my life has changed tremendously. I don't ever want to see him again. Like, I'm just over and done with it. I have no problem with him. I have nothing against them. But what has happened to me and my daughter, they could never understand. They would never understand.
Damn, that's a great answer. By the way, this makes her seem more legit. They're saying, oh, yeah, we're not going to be friends with Melly if he get out. I bet if that check hit, they will be.
They don't know.
Felicia, real quick, do you have a theory as to what happened that night?
I think that maybe they pissed somebody off. I mean, these are rappers. They're going back and forth. They have all these beefs. I think someone followed them from the studio. I think maybe he pissed somebody off. I think, I say if he was in the car or not, I don't know. Maybe he was, and he doesn't want to tell them who actually did the shooting. I don't know, but I think that someone got mad because I just don't see him killing Sack and Juvie. I'm not even saying Sack a good person, because Sack's not a good person. I don't care why everybody paint this picture about him. He's an awful person. But Juvie, good guy. I don't think anything bad should ever happen to him. But I think that somebody pissed somebody off. I think Melly would have gotten shot too. I think he maybe was a target as well, and probably still is.
Any reason to think that, other than any?
Well, like I said, my daughter was just in. They just got jumped. They had just gotten jumped in Atlantic Records, I think, in L.A. Was it Atlantic Records by NBA YoungBoy and a whole bunch of guys. That just happened, and my daughter has a scar across her back about this long from the scuffle, from the fight.
Damn. Y'all went to I went to Atlantic Records in New York. I don't know where it's at in LA. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I could see rappers bumping into each other and them getting in over there. I ain't gonna hold you. I could see it.
What was that like, Mariah?
I was terrified. I thought I was gonna lose my life that day. Honestly, it happened so quickly. It happened so quickly. Like within a blink of an eye, we had just got to the studio and they all just started arguing and fighting. And next thing you know, we're getting jumped by so many guys. And I'm trying to shield and protect Melly. And the guys are not trying to hit me, but I'm literally
in the middle,
trying to lay on top of him just to like guard him. And
when was this? How soon before the shooting was this?
I think this was like in August of 2018. August,
about a
September.
month or so before the murders.
Yeah, it was like August.
I ain't gonna lie, man. This is how young boy should have went off when they was fucking up his girl, man. He should went off like this.
I said and be on my and now you talking about my wife inside my house that I paid for. Now her bitch ass daddy, nigga, huh? And now bitch ass daddy.
This how Melly should have went off.
For money in my life. Why? Cause y'all be playing with me, bitch. Like I need a girl for something. Nah, I give her anything she ever asked me for. I ain't never asked.
Oh, man.
This was September of
Someone took his chain or something. They took his chain.
Yeah, his chain fell and they took it.
But they gave it back.
Like what started that?
We were outside and we were pulling up to the studio and his friend Melly's Zach was like, there go NBA YoungBoy. So we're like, oh yeah, that is NBA YoungBoy. So he's like, I feel like we're gonna get into it with him. So I'm just praying, like, God, please don't let us get into it with these people. Like, I hope not. So as we walk into the studio, like he like give Melly a look, like he sighs him. So Zach, like, what's up? Like, you straight or whatever? And he's like, he was like, yeah, I'm good or whatever. Then he just started saying stuff. And then Zach ended up saying something back to him. And then Melly was like, what's up? And he swung on Melly, they fought. And then the guys started jumping in. Everybody just started jumping in. I tried to jump on top of Melly to like guard him. It was just a big scuffle, honestly. Like, it was bad. It was horrible.
Did police ever look into this?
No.
No.
Wow.
It was just like,
No.
it happened and that was it. Like, Melly chain fell. They took it and ran out the studio and left. And that was it, honestly. Like, they never, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she pretty much confirming that YB beat the brakes off Melly, right?
Before I let you go, I have two quick questions. First one was, there was a lot made about YNW Melly's relationship with his mom and the way he spoke to her. Mariah, what can you tell us about that?
Him and his mom relationship, he loved his mom. His mom is a crazy lady, though. She's crazy. But he loves her. She just always tried to come, but like he just wanted her to be a mom. Like she's a mother, so of course she's going to be on you about studio time, going to shows on time. She's going to be on him regardless, and he didn't want her to do that. So they always, bump heads a little bit when it came to that. But he loved his mom. She's a good
mom to him.
She wanted to be a manager, and he was like, "No, just be a mom. I don't want you to be a manager. Just be a mom."
I think that clash with him and her are that she wants to be more in the limelight, and he wants her behind the limelight.
Off.
Yeah, he doesn't want. He wants her to be like a mom, a grandma mom, instead of a hip mom kind of thing.
I have to ask you your thoughts on what prosecution says. The biggest piece of evidence, the "shh, I did that" message. Do you think YNW Melly wrote that?
I honestly don't believe so. When they was showing it, like from his Instagram, so many people had his Instagram password. I even had his Instagram password from time to times. Like, everybody shared everything when it came to his phone, to his social media. I used to be on there. I used to respond back to females all the time. So it was like, I don't know if that's what he did or not. But I used to respond to females all the time. So I don't know.
What did you say, Mariah?
Just like, I used to say a few things, but I'm a changed person now. So,
Felicia, what do you think about the message?
I didn't take. I mean, I don't think he would even. I would hope, God forbid, if he did do it, which I hope he didn't. What sane person would text that kind of crap after doing all this so-called cover up a homicide? You're just gonna automatically just text out. Shh, I did that to somebody. That's like confession. That's confession 101. I don't think a sane person would do that. I don't think a person who did.
I don't think she realized that's what the prosecutor is saying. That's why they're trying to kill him. This nigga is insane. I don't think she realized. Yeah, that's the prosecutor's whole fucking point. This nigga's a psychopath. He's insane. He did it and has basically bragged about it.
All this she's saying he did to cover up this homicide. No fingerprints and no DNA and stuff. But you're going to just go confess to it later? I just think the state's reaching with that. I think they need
what up?
Better evidence. I don't think they're doing a good job.
Mariah, Felicia, thank you both so much for coming on and talking.
Anyway, this is Melly's mom over here. She posted something on her story. She posted this. I guess she was in New York City recently. She posted. Let me see. Oh, did she delete it? Oh, yeah, she posted this. She says, some phones drown, some get turned in. Now, the story in question is this story about Travis Scott, who supposedly, I guess they were trying to subpoena his phone, that they could see what the fuck was on it, to see like what he was texting during that time around when the Astroworld tragedy happened. And apparently Travis Scott legal team, they said, listen, Travis Scott legal team was speaking out after he was questioned during a civil deposition on Monday in Texas for lawsuits related to the 2021 Astroworld Festival mass casualty. According to Rolling Stone, prior to this deposition, Astroworld plaintiff filed an emergency motion to obtain phone records regarding the festival from Scott. They claim the rapper and his team failed to provide those documents, although it was required through a court order. Scott attorneys advise his client's phone fell off a boat nearly 2 years ago and is at the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico. In a statement, Scott's rep Ted Blah Blah says Travis Scott and his team have nothing to hide or are cooperating with the ongoing civil legal proceedings. By the way, if it's just phone records, like who he texts, maybe you can't see the messages, but like who he texts or who he called, they can get that from a cell company, I believe. But I'm guessing they want to see something on the phone itself, which they're saying that shit fell off a yacht, man. He says it adds his actions during and after the festival demonstrate that he has done nothing wrong, as does the fact that he and his team were cleared of the following investigation by the Houston Police Department. We'll keep you updated. So, okay, so basically they're trying to, and this is a civil case, they're trying to get his phone records, which the court granted the subpoena, but they're saying the phone's at the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico. Now, here's the reason why the mom of Melly, actually, she retweeted this. She says some phones get drowned, some get turned in. Clearly, this might be a shot at Track, which is Melly's manager. Essentially, Melly's phone was turned in by the manager via a subpoena and a search warrant. They knew that Melly gave his phone or was with his manager. And, I think it was kind of controversial. Some people felt like the manager shouldn't have turned it in. Regardless, the police knew that he had it. So he probably would have gotten charged if he didn't turn that phone in. You know what I mean? Like, they know he had possession of it. He would have gotten charged with accessory because they would have said, the reason why you're discarding the phone is because you knew that there was going to be maybe potentially